Well, this old swing doesn't look as fun as it used to be. Or does it? What's hidden behind the cement? Klaipėda. Clay foot. That's the literal translation into English. Clay, Peda, foot. And after reading that bit of history in the city park, 200 years ago, sand was covering lots of areas of modern-day Klaipėda. You'd think that they might have called the town Sandsfoot, wouldn't you? Like Sandsfoot Castle, which is a reminder for me and a bit of a clue as to where I grew up as a child. Oh, hello. I think we're being watched and possibly listened to. Better put the camera away, because it's this character again. Super. Oh, do you mind, can I have a selfie? Can we? Oh, good man, good man.
Scene 1, Apple, take 1. Scene 1, Apple, take 2.
I had to wonder from a distance. Somebody has applied some fine detail and paint. And good luck to the poor sod in the black car trying to get out of there after that person has parked and blocked their path. Car drivers, eh? They're a dying breed. Bit deep, isn't it? Think about it. Oh, and this seems to be the car park where people come to park badly. Look at the parking of this one. I'm glad I'm not a car driver, because I'd get really frustrated by other car drivers. They'd give us a bad name. Don't want that. It's difficult enough being a pedestrian. I can't be the only one who admires decorative manhole covers like this one. Am I? We've got... Oh, here we go again. Sorry for my bad pronunciation. But it's Herkus Mantas. 1260, 1274. 14 years. Surely he didn't die at the age of 14, a hero. Maybe he did. Or maybe between those years he did something special and held sway, maybe. Conveniently, nearby, we've got a bit of history about this monument. Right here, the monument stands in the street named in the second half of the 20th century for Herkus Mantas. This street has been called Ilgoi in the 18th century and had the name Liepoja during the 19th century and in the first half of the 20th. The monument was built in 1983 and was dedicated to Herkus Mantas, leader of the Great Prussian Uprising of 1260 to 1274 against the Order. Is that the Livonian Order? The Order of the Swords Brotherhood, or whatever they were called? Herkus Mantas, a son of a Prussian nobleman, was seized by Crusaders as their hostage while he was in his childhood, and he was raised in the city of Magdeburg in Germany. Contrary to Crusader expectations, Herkus Mantas turned his acquired knowledge against his German teachers, and he became the head of the Prussians' struggle for freedom. When the uprising began in 1260, he was elected to be the Nottangian leader. Together with the leaders of neighbouring lands, he besieged the Karaliaučius castle in 1262, and in 1263 captured the Culm city. After the victories of the rebels led by Herkus Mantas, the major part of the Prussian land finally, but temporarily, became free from the Crusaders' power. At the end of the uprising, Herkus Mantas was with a little group of his fighters deep inside the land. In 1274, he was murdered by the Crusaders. At the other side of the street are significant buildings that survived the thunders of World War II. The Public Library, located in the neo-Renaissance style residence of the former timber merchant E. Gerlach, that was built in 1874. Next to the library is the former Capitol Cinema, the first cinema in Klaipėda, reopened in 1930. There we are. One of these is a library and one of these is a cinema. But which is which? That's the question. Sometimes all you've got to do is look up. Before and after. It's a little bit faded, but this potted history says in 1252 the Teutonic Knights built the castle of Memmelberg at the mouth of the Dane River. Memmelberg gave birth to Klaipėda city. Klaipėda became the centre of Kuršas diocese. 1258, Klaipėda was granted Lübeck city right. According to the agreement of the German order in Prussia and Livonia, Klaipėda and its surroundings were transmitted to the German order in Prussia and later became a part of Prussia, Duchy and Kingdom. 1605, the famous German poet Simon Dach was born. In honour of the poet, the sculpture Annika was put on the square of theatre and has become the symbol of Klaipėda city. 1629 to 1635, Klaipėda was ruled by the Swedes. 1657, the merchants of Klaipėda were granted a privilege to develop the sea trade independently, which enabled the city to develop faster as a port. In the middle of the 17th century, new fortifications were established and Klaipėda became a city fortress. 1758, Klaipėda was ruled by Russia. 1770, Klaipėda lost the status of a city fortress. 1807 to 1808, for 1 year Klaipėda became the capital of the Kingdom of Prussia. The order of abolishment of serfdom was legislated in Klaipėda. Major reforms were started in the Kingdom of Prussia. 1854, a fire devastated a large part of the city. 1873, the King Wilhelm's Channel was constructed. It joined the mouth of the river Nemunas and Klaipėda port. 1919, as stated in the Versailles Agreement, Klaipėda was separated from Germany and placed under the protectorate of the Entente States. 1923, Klaipėda was returned to the Republic of Lithuania. 1939, Fascist Germany annexed Klaipėda. 1945, Klaipėda was occupied by the Soviet Army. Klaipėda and Klaipėda region were transmitted to the Lithuanian Socialist Soviet Republic. The settling of the city, mostly by Russians, was started. It caused essential changes in the demographic situation of the post-war Klaipėda. 1989, first non-communist city council was elected. Whew, crikey. Klaipėda port is looking busy. And a different design. Okie oak for individual bald people. What do you reckon? I haven't a clue, to be honest. And at the entrance of Federico Pasajas, we have this devil. Very nice looking place, isn't it? And very unexpected as you walk down the street, suddenly to come upon this little oasis. I certainly didn't expect it to be this nice. No mistake what that's about. If you feel like trying some wine, I'm not sure it's going to be Lithuanian wine. Not what Lithuania is famous for, but I'm sure they've got a very nice selection. If you feel like splashing the cash, pushing the boat out a little bit for your holiday here in Klaipėda. But for cheap backpacking people, they're going to steer clear of this. Clearly. And they might steer clear of this as well. Or not. At the end of the passage is a museum. Historical tile museum, ceramics. Maybe not today. I think we've come late to the market. Just 2 stall holders left. But I think early on a Sunday, or was it early on a Saturday, I heard that you can get some real good genuine honey in this market. So might be worth checking out after you've been through Frederico's passage, turned left, maybe you've gone into the museum straight ahead, or perhaps you've turned left and come out here in the afternoon. You can forget it. You're only going to get limp lettuce if you're lucky, and probably all the bruised fruity stuff. If you're in the flower business, why not promote yourself? And if you're in need of some flowers while you're in Klaipėda, to either thank the hostel, the cleaning lady, the proprietors, or that person who suddenly you found special while you were cycling with them in a group along Neringa. I had to stop and make comments because the smell coming out of this establishment is just, well, it shouldn't be allowed. The smell is so delicious. If you want your croissants or any other bakery products, I think this is the place to come. It's not far from the Federico Passage, which is just across the road over there. The marketplace is just over there, big roundabout. We're halfway between the hostel and the Acropolis shopping mall. And oh my goodness, I've got to get away from this shop because the smell is so enticing. I had to take a look, I was nosy. Turns out that this tower belongs to a building which comprises the, I think it's Memel Hotel. My eyesight isn't as good as it should be. Not quite as interesting as I thought, but might be interesting for you, particularly if you're one of those tourists who likes to do not so much the pub crawl out of the hostel, but the full brewery tour. I know I've met people in the past as I've been travelling around who like to go specifically to places where they know there is a well-known brand of beer, so they can do the brewery tour. Of course, Czech Republic. I remember also when I was in New Zealand and elsewhere in Germany, Belgium, and many other countries besides, I'm sure. There is this option. I'm not sure what they call this style of tourism. Brewery tourism. Brewery hopping? Hopping? Hopsing? I'm sure there's an official name for it if you'd like to go to a town where you can then sign up for a full brewery tour with those special samples as well. If beer's your thing and you got a bit of money to spend, you could stay at the Memel Hotel, and just down the street you can stagger back from the 1784 Svyturys Brewery. If it's been going all those years, one would think it might be pretty good. What do you think? I wouldn't know a good beer from a bad beer. It all tastes pretty foul to me. The brewery was founded by the merchant J.W. Reinke in Klaipėda in 1784. Since then, the coat of arms of the factory has been embellished with the emblem of his family, the white-tailed sea eagle. In the 19th century, the brewery on the outskirts of the Friedrich suburb was merged with the brewery of the landowner T. Prus to become the city's main brewery, making the traditional Bock, Bavarian and Porter beers. Learn far more, I'm sure, if you go along and make an inquiry, which I'm not inclined to do, to be fair, right here or online. And this could be the highlight of your stay in Klaipėda. I know they might even have difficulty getting you out. Now, I'm going to approach a lady who has caught my attention. No, don't. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the lady here on the top of the big block of stone and cement, who's got, well, what is it? Two long French breadsticks. Are they supposed to be two ships maybe? But can't see any information about this monument, unless just looking away, the clue is given away right here. So presumably the monument is called Neringa, and once again, for people technology minded, they can use that graphic together with their phone and hear about the history of either the sculpture itself or the character, the mythology behind the character and the name.